Hi y'all, I'm Rhonda and this is Joy Junktique. I'd just like to welcome you to my channel. Today I am so excited to show you my very first design team project for SamPooleDesigns. At first I was really nervous and had no idea what I was going to do for it. But once I finally figured out where I wanted to go with this project, then it all just kind of fell into place. A little too good because I stuffed it. I absolutely loved creating this project. It took me a while to get figured out what I wanted to do, but once I found this image, then I kind of knew which direction I wanted to go. This is what I made, and it's a little folio journal, and it's stuffed full to the brim, a little overstuffed. And I just loved making it and creating it. All the digitals were so pretty. And this image is from the religious kit, and she has scripture cards in there. So when I saw this, I just loved it, and I could just picture it on the front. So from there, I just went and pulled anything that kind of went with the music theme and garden theme, where the colors coordinated to where it would just all kind of flow together. So I'm going to call this one Garden Love Song, and it's just got a lot of music, a lot of references to love. It's got a lot of scriptures, pages from lots and lots of different kits, just bits and pieces here and there. And I'll show you, don't laugh when you see my list, but I use a lot, just maybe one little piece from it, but I just wanted to reference all the kits that I could remember. So I just kind of went through and pulled bits and pieces that would coordinate and be what I wanted to create with. So the cards were in the religious, and the tags that I put them on were from the French creams. So everything else you would recognize whenever you pulled up the kit. I'll put the link to her Etsy shop down below, and I'll list the kits down there too. But this is all the kits that I kind of pulled from, and there was so many more that I could have pulled from, but I just had to finally quit. So I'm just going to get into opening this and showing you everything about it. It's just a really soft spring, summery, just I don't know, it just calms me to look at it. I can just imagine like walking through a beautiful garden, hearing the birds sing, and smelling the flowers, feeling the breeze blow. It just makes me happy. Here's the front cover up close a little better. I added a little butterfly here that I left the wings loose so it can kind of flutter. This was one of those cardboard frames. I'm not sure who it's by, but I've used these before. And then this I had found at Hobby Lobby and just bought to have on hand. But when I saw this bird, it just looked like it needed to go on the cover of this too. So I'll show you how they came, just in a long strand of them. And if you notice, they are a little peachier than mine. So I wanted to make this work, so I had to add, what I did is I took and I added this lilac pearl opal polish cosmic shimmer. I don't know if you can see that there, maybe. So but I just added that on top of the flowers, and when they dried they had more of the pretty pink color. So that made that work. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but I liked how it blended so much better when I got through. So I also had some of these little colored pencils left that my kids had when they were little, and of course I didn't throw them away. It was missing the lead, so I just took and glued a little pearl in the end, just so it wouldn't have that blunt, ugly edge there. So I basically just kind of collaged. And the base of my folio, this is actually a folio journal, so the base of it is made just from book pages that I glued together and folded. So that's how I did that, and I may do a tutorial on that, on how I did this later on, if anyone's interested in that. So here it's just tags out of the kit, little bits and pieces, all glued and collaged on top of book pages. And then I added the little doily on the spine. I also used some, let's see, seam binding ribbon. And so I ran it through this layer underneath and looped it and tied it so that then I would have something to tie this to. So that's pretty much it for the cover. I just wrapped it with twine. So, and this here, when I bound the book, I did 2 holes here and 2 holes here so that I could pull the twine through, tie it in a knot, and then wrap it around the wooden pencil. And then once I got it wrapped around, I just tied it, knotted it, cut off the ends, and glued the ends down so that you wouldn't see the little straggly pieces. So it's super simple to do that. Okay, well, let's get into it. So it's just wrapped with a piece of twine. So before you even open it, I left a little pocket here. So there is an embossed envelope. Now this I already had made, so I'm not sure where this tiny little piece came from, but I already had this made in my stash. It was just a piece of embossed paper, and so I put one of the little photos in there. So that just slides right back in here, just like that. Okay, so as we open it, it's really thick and chunky. So here I just made more collaging. I have another tag that has a scripture on it. I added a little piece of a Bible that was falling apart, and it's 1 Corinthians 13. And the scripture about love and charity. So I wanted to include that in here. And then here, I used one of her pictures. I love that kit so much. And then here this was a little paper bag that I had embossed after I coffee dyed it, and then I kind of distressed it with ink so you could see the hearts better. So then I just wanted to put another little pocket layer on top of that. And this was just a sweet little hanky I had, so I cut off the corner and folded it back and just added this to it. So this was one of her die cuts, the lace doily. And so this is vellum. And if you can see it, I printed out one of the ones that had the postage mark and stuff. So I just glued that on there, and you can still see it through the back. So here, used one of her button cards. On this, I actually stamped it with one of her stamps from her stamp kits. And so then I just made this tag, and I put that back down in my pocket. This was some wedding gown lace. I kind of used it throughout the book here and there. Coffee dyed paper. So here is one of her music pages that I printed. This was another one of those cards, and I just glued some heart lace hanging down from it. And then this is one of, I think, from her wallpaper kit. And I tried to back most of the pages with another print on it. I love this print, it's so pretty. This is one of her book pages. This was some piano paper, and rather than it be super thin and tear, I just folded it up and doubled it. So that'll just be a little journaling spot. Here's a really pretty pale pink piece of lace. And then here's another little card that goes right down into this die cut. So I did this, and I put the little brads in, glued it all down from the back because it's 2 pieces, and then I slid this card into this where you can see it through the frame. So that's how I did that. I found this in one of my hymn books. It's in the garden, so I included that in there. These pages are just all so pretty. It was so hard to decide what to use and what to leave out. In fact, I had to pull some stuff out because it got too even thicker than this. But I finally just had to say, okay, enough is enough. But they're all so beautiful. This is a photo, and I just backed them with some coffee dyed paper or vellum on all the photographs that I put in here. This here is a belly band that this slides under, but this also is a pocket here. So I have something here that we can tuck in there. And this is just like a receipt for seeds. So we'll just tuck that in there. Like that. Okay, and then this was a postcard, and I just made a pocket out of it. This is more of my French book pages. Here's another scripture tag. I just added some little crochet lace and some little pink trim there. Here's another pocket that I just made with lace. And this I don't know if you can see it. I just barely put the Waverly plaster. I just barely stenciled it. After I die cut one of her die cuts, then I used it as a stencil and put that on this tag. Very, very subtle, but I love it. And then there's that cute little trim at the bottom. Here's another one of her stamps. This was just a little bit of music ribbon that I had that I just kind of cut up. Now this I really liked doing. This was another one of those button cards, and I used that same stencil. Actually, I did this one first, and then I did the one with the paint. But when I put the, let me show you what I used. I used this texture paste to do this stencil, and then I just sprinkled my rose gold glass glitter, and I kind of gently pressed it in with another piece of paper over the top so that it would not be, you know, falling off everywhere in the journal. And I just think that turned out really pretty. It's got the little sparkle and shine. So that slips right here. I love this page. All the pretty patterns there. This was just a piece of pink notebook paper that I had. And this, I actually folded this piece of paper in half, and then I put this really sheer fabric over the top so I could have pockets here. But when you take these out, you can take and fold this open, and you have this pretty image. I did not want to cut that one up, so I just folded it up where you can open it. And see, here's the twine. How I just did 2 holes here with 1 string and 2 holes here with 1 string. And that was some hard stuff to get through here, but I finally got it. And so that's what came out here and wrapped around those. So I'd never bound one like that before, but I tried it and it worked. So it worked for what I needed. So these slip back in here. And then this is a tag with a little fold out. So then here, this piece wasn't wide enough to, I wanted it to come out a little farther. So I just took and got another piece of leftover paper that I had printed out from one of her kits. I just folded it in half and let this glue to it. So that way you saw the pattern on both sides. So that just extended a little bit more for me. Now this was just little bits and pieces that I had left after tearing and putting things, gluing and putting things together. So some of it's coffee dyed, some of it's from the kits. And so I just made a cute little notepad there that slides down in this pocket. There's the back side of that quilted paper. Now here's the piece that I actually, this is the stencil piece that I had cut from the die cut. And so here, the shiny is from the texture paste, and then the cream is from the paint. So I just couldn't throw that away. So I just took and glued it to this little fold out here so that you could turn around and tuck something in there and it would hold it in there better. So I just put this photo. But I loved that. I just couldn't throw it away. And then here's my little paper clip. I put something on each side of it so that it would be pretty on both sides. Okay, so there's that. So here is the other side of that really pretty page. This is another fold out from the music page. So I just glued this to the edge of it so that it folds out and is a little bit sturdier. The rest of that lace. Just so pretty together, I think. This was another scripture tag, and I just pieced together some little scraps and added the lace. It slips down in this pocket with this little sheer fabric. Here's another little tuck spot here, and I just glued this little piece of fabric that was off of a blouse so that it looked like a lattice. And there's that photo. And then here is the other side of that vellum with the postmarks. Now this is from one of the kits, and then I just made a pocket with it. And it's got these two cards, and they're double-sided so you can journal. These pink flowers are so pretty. So then this opens up. This is actually the back little cover, and this is just another piece of that hanky that I glued in. Here's some more of the little collaged papers. These are actually two separate papers, so I'll put this on top of this one. And then here we have a pocket. And it's just got a piece of a document that came from one of her kits. I just folded it up, set it down in there. And I found this after the fact, so I printed it on the onion skin paper, and it's got Go Lovely Rose, and it's a music page, so I had to include that in this garden journal, garden love song journal. So I'm going to put that down in there too. So then here I just used a piece of an envelope with a little window, made a paper ruffle that I had embossed, and it actually says love is patient. It has that same scripture from 1 Corinthians. So I added that. I also added this tiny little piece of trim I just thought was so pretty. This is another one of her stamps. This is another one of her stamps too. And there's that card with that pretty lady. I just kind of layered it on top of the tags that she already had and backed it with some music. When you turn this envelope, I backed it with another receipt page and a little piece of trim. Has a little rhinestone on it. This was a tiny little, kind of a thick paper paper bag. So I just embossed it with this lattice pattern, and then I added another tag, scripture tag. So that slips right back in there. That's some more of that wedding lace. And then this was a little coffee dyed paper that I just folded up to make pockets at the bottom, and I added another big piece of that wedding lace, and I thought that was really pretty on there. And so as you turn here, I put another scripture page, which is John 3:16, talking about God's love. And then on this side I have another little photo. And then this card, I couldn't decide which color I liked better, so I just used both. So this one's blue and this one's pink. And so what I did is I just wrapped this little netting tool around it and tied a bow at the edge, so that either way you look at it, you still see the little frill there. And then I just took a little doily and glued to the edges here so that I could tuck a couple of little photos in there, just like that. And so also I wanted to show you that I saved a little slit in the side. There can be a little hidden pocket there. So I'm going to take and put this little photo down in that pocket like that. And then I just put that right in the middle. So then I came over here to this back side, and I knew I wanted a little belly band with this. So as I take this out, you can see the back side of the flap of my envelope, and it was just an old coffee dyed envelope, so it was very imperfect, but I like it like that. And then I took this is cardstock, and it was just the leftover piece. So after I collaged all this, I added this little belly band. And then I had made this. So this is her little Eiffel Tower. It comes to where it has the piece that can attach to the back. Okay, so I'm going to take the paper clip off. I just have this flower attached to this paper clip, and it's one of my coffee dyed little pink flowers. So it looks, you know, a little aged and antique-y. So this is that little booklet, and so I just added one of her little phrases: plant smiles, grow laughter, harvest love, and I added a little piece of lace trim there. And so inside of it I just have another one of those little scrappy booklets with leftover pieces, so I just tuck that in there. So I'm just going to attach this flower back on here. Just have it dangling from a paper clip, just like that. And that just slides down here in this little belly band. So I thought it looked really pretty like that. So then as you fold it up, all this folds into the journal first, and then this after. So that is my design team project for SamPooleDesigns, and I hope you liked it. It really made me happy to create it, and I have worked on this for days and days, but I enjoyed it so much. So all of those kits are in her Etsy shop, and I will try my best to put them all below. List them all. It'll be a really long list, but that way you'll have all the kits if you're interested. And so then this just ties around the top to where you can still see the bird, just like that. And so there you go. I hope you like it, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great rest of your week. and just feel my hugs. I'll see you soon. God bless.